going on, buddy?
The floor is all yours, buddy. We're all waiting to hear from what you have to say.
I'm going to share a picture real quick, and then I'm going to introduce somebody. This is a photo that we took back in August. And for those of you that don't know the gentleman I'm going to be bringing on, that's Ron Pope. He's on the left there. The center is our CEO, Mr. Huascar Lopez. And this was a meeting that we had planned and scheduled. I believe it was August 15th. So when we got a call from Ron in the beginning of July, and, Ron said, we've got something here you need to take a look at. A lot of you guys have heard this story. My first question to Ron was, are you taking a position? Like, is this something you're going to build? Like, you retired from network marketing 7-8 years ago. You're successfully building multiple, Fortune 500 traditional companies. You've got the Conversion Pros, which is in, so many different countries all over the globe, multi-million-dollar business, helping other network marketing companies. Really, are you coming out of retirement for this thing? And he said, absolutely. I'm your sponsor. And I said, well, then it's a no-brainer for us. Like, can we sign up right now? He says, well, I don't even think the system is ready for you to sign up, but let me call the owner and then let me get back to you. And I think it was that night or the night before we were able to take a position. And then after that, we had a really great call with Huascar for about 90 minutes. And like Katie said, we really didn't know what we were getting involved in. We knew that we were getting involved with people that have of the highest integrity, business-minded entrepreneurs that do what they say they're going to do, that have a successful track record, that have just all positive vibes and energy, and everything seemed so great. We had a great call with Huascar. That was about an hour and a half. And then we got to work. And then on August 15th, I believe it was the 15th, we orchestrated this little meeting. Ron came out from Vegas. Huascar and his fiance happened to be in Orlando. I was in Orlando. It couldn't have worked out more perfect for timing. And so we had our first power team call at this meeting. It was about 7 hours. And it was where we had an opportunity to really understand the experience that Huascar and the team had, the magic of the technology that they owned, key piece there, owned, and really the execution plan, which caused us to really put the pedal to the metal. And so what I want to do, and so that was really awesome. Again, we got started. This photo, we didn't know exactly what we had, just like Katie is saying, but now here we are, 15 months later. We see we're coming up on the first year of the grand launch, which is going to be here in a couple of months. We see the consistency in execution. We see the transparency. We see the care and the concern from our ownerships, managing the money the right way, and consistency in payouts and all of this. And we could not be more excited for the 70,000 plus members that have joined and the hundreds of thousands of members that are ready to join and that don't even know they're gonna be joining. And so what we want to do is we want to bring on Ron. Ron pops in these every couple of months. I think this might be his third power team call in a year. He's doing so much work behind the scenes with the infrastructure and the security and the website and the back office and also the development of what's coming in phase 2. So we wanted to get him on here today. And really, we just have 2 topics that we'd like Ron to discuss. And just want to see, Ron, are you with us?
I'm right here, Justin. How are you?
What's up, brother? I'm good. How are you today?
I couldn't be better, my friend.
So we've got a big audience. We've got 1,000 here. We've got over a couple hundred on the Facebook. I'm sure people are live streaming this all over social media right now. And so there's no pressure, my friend. Never.
No pressure, Ron.
Never. Always
when you're doing
prepared.
something you love and you're helping people. I mean, this is the whole reason that Huascar and I put this together was we had been talking for years about getting a home run that could help millions of people, right down to the very last person coming into the company. And so yeah, no pressure at all. I mean, I've been prepared for this for preparing for it for over 22 years. So it's as I go into different businesses and drive them to success and look at the different business models, what's working, what's not working. We've got a very cookie cutter model that we've been able to plug in with Huascar's vision that continues to grow, as you know, Justin. But it's brought us to a point where we literally are helping every last person that comes into CashFX. And Justin, you and I have had multiple talks about this. I've been consulting now. First, I'm gonna have to grab a calculator here. My first network marketing company was in 1996, so 24 years ago.
There you go.
It was called Excel Telecommunications, and I was a U.S. Air Force member at the time, and so I didn't have a lot of time to focus on it, but I caught the bug. I drank the juice. I understood what this market brought, and so I got excited, and ever since then I've been in corporate America and always dabbling in with network marketing, and I've had the opportunity to have, as you said, work in the field, be a leader on a global basis. I've taken over network marketing companies in multiple countries and rehabbed them, made them successful. I've built them from the ground up. Every time I go into one, it literally 7 days a week, 15 hours a day, and it's a sacrifice to the family and everything. I'm not the only one doing that. Everybody behind the scenes here at CashFX is doing that. And this is, Justin, as you stated, I had taken time away from network marketing because of the conversion pros. I didn't want to have any conflict of interest with any of my clients, but CashFX doesn't bring that conflict of interest. It's a complement to whatever else you're doing. So, I mean, what do we got? 998 people on the call right now. And, it's a matter of keep doing what you're doing. If you have a primary business and you're making really good income with it, don't stop doing it. Multiple streams of income is the key to success here. And as Justin and I talk about almost daily, is diversification. You want to diversify, you want multiple streams. So the neat thing about CashFX is it's something you can do at the same time you're doing your primary business. But what you're going to see, because we've seen it 70-something thousand times now, is your primary business starts to become your secondary business, because what you're going to find here is time leverage as well as money leverage. I mean, you can, there's two things you can leverage: your time and your money. You got them both here, is my point. Okay, so it really starts to become that primary business model. And I've had downlines in the past exceeding 252,000 people in 149 plus countries, and this one here we're in over 190 now. But I wasn't making near then what, if you had 252,000 people in CashFX, what you would be making would be ridiculous. And so, or what you will be making, Justin, will be ridiculous. So, because that's going to happen. You're going to pass the 250,000.
Oh yeah.
Especially right now. I mean, with the way this team is growing, I'm excited to be here on the call. You guys are doing some incredible things, and it's not Justin, it's not Luigi, it's every last one of you guys. And it's the commitment.
It's the whole community.
It absolutely is. And I pulled up the other day the numbers to see, because I was talking with John Kinnear and Huascar, and we wanted to know, how many people in the company hadn't referred anybody yet. And some numbers had been passed around. I'm not going to disclose these. I'll let Huascar do this when he's ready to disclose. But there were some numbers passed around between the three of us. And I have to say that because in traditional network marketing, you have a large percentage of your company that doesn't ever refer anybody. Okay. We were all shocked, I'll just say that, by the percentage of people in this company that have referred at least one person.
Right.
So it's life-changing, and people see that. They're watching it happen. And I want to touch on this. Okay. I never really bring up specific people in a call. I'm not going to use a last name because I'm not into, using a platform like this to promote people. But what I will say is this. I have seen my personal friends. One of them, his name is Trent. Okay, he's out of the UK, and I saw Trent. He and I have been friends for years, And he's been, a member over at the Conversion Pros using our tools. But he's got that primary job. He's working a job, and he wants out of that job so bad, and he and his wife, they just had their baby, and they're living a long ways away from their family. And he's like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do all this. It's just so heavy. It's so much, because he's going full time to work, working overtime, trying to make sure the bills are paid and everything. When this came around, I said, Trent, why don't you take a look at this? I said, just, really take a look at it. And he said, Ron, is this something I should get in? I said, well, I think you should. I really think you need to take a look at it. He said, then I'm in. And he did. He joined right there on the spot. And I said, well, you need to look at what it is, go really research this and get an understanding for it. So Trent's been working and building his team. He's not yet a large leader in the field that has thousands and thousands of people under him, but he's somebody who's hungry, somebody who's fairly new to network marketing. But what this has done for him, guys, in a very short amount of time is his wife doesn't have to worry about working. She can stay home, take care of the kids now. They moved closer to their family, hours closer. So now they've got their family support right there. And he's got enough extra income coming in. They just got another car. They're starting to improve their lifestyle. And I asked him the other day, are you feeling the benefits? He said, oh my God, it's changed my life. So, I'm watching it happen firsthand with, good friends of mine, with everybody in the field. And so, if you're new here tonight, or today, wherever you're at, and you're considering Cash FX and you're not sure if it's for you or not, if you're one of those people that have always had that hunger and that drive, and you've been looking for that right place, right time type opportunity, and this isn't a pitch, guys. I know it sounds like one, but it's honestly not. It's just, give this a shot. I mean, I think you've found what you're looking for, but you won't know until you say yes and take that first step. And so far to this point, I haven't really heard anybody that's regretted getting involved with Cash FX. So it's been a great project. It really has. I know that was a long intro, Justin. I'll turn it back over to you. I know we got some questions and stuff going on, but just really wanted to, kind of share what, my insights and things on what I was listening to here today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The amount of testimonials coming in for people who have been able to leverage this company, this technology, and this platform to do all sorts of things, purchase things, pay down debts. I mean, we just got a guy who was just doing a live stream today who's been in he owns a traditional business for how many years? He says he's almost at a point where this is now supplementing the income of his traditional business, which he's been working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And so the testimonies are nonstop. But we want to, one of the things we talk about all the time is when you look at a company that wants to be a legacy company. And I know you have a lot of experience with startups and coming in and help companies make hundreds of millions of dollars. That's right. 22 startups, you guys. When you look at a company that really is set up differently than a typical network marketing company that has a 20-year vision, you see that company investing in assets. And so if you can take a few minutes and just talk a little bit about the company's investment in security and infrastructure, growing the hardware on the back end to support the growth, being, one of our main infrastructure guys and managing that team, just kind of break it down for us, please.
Yeah, absolutely. There hasn't been any expense spared on the infrastructure behind the company. I think the biggest thing about the infrastructure, what happened was the power team. You guys took off too fast, and it's a good problem to have, though. So, I mean, while so many companies are struggling and going out of business in today's world, Cash FX is just literally exploding. And I think we're 650 plus people a day coming in right now. But it's, the infrastructure side of that, because that's where I like to focus in on, is infrastructure, not just on the software side, but, also on the manpower side. And when you start growing really fast with a company that, okay, so you just explained the compensation plan. Let me just give you an understanding of customer service here for a second, okay? So you just explained the business model and the compensation plan. a lot of people might be sitting there going, oh, I'm new to network marketing. I haven't really dealt with this a whole lot. I got part of what they said, but I'm going to have to come back to a couple more webinars, or I'm going to have to get in and really dig into some of the training. Okay. When you're hiring, excuse me for my, my voice and coughing and stuff today, with Oregon, Washington, and California being right beside us, all the smoke's coming over. My allergies are just really killing me here today. But anyway, so my point is, when you're hiring customer service, they don't always have a background in network marketing. Okay. And so when you're trying to hire that customer service and train them, it takes a little bit longer when you have a complex system or a complex program. Okay. So then you got to spend more time, training. You get your first group, you train them, and then you've got to grab the next group and train them. At the same time, you're hoping that the support tickets don't get away from you. Well, hasn't been the case. Support tickets, they just keep rolling in. John Kinnear and I are working on a lot of videos right now. We actually took the entire back office, created a demo. Okay, so basically here's the live one, and we've got one sitting off over here. All right. And this one, we ran our randomizer through it. We changed all the usernames, all the data, but it's a mirrored copy of this over here. You just don't know whose positions they are for privacy. Okay. So now we're going through and building videos on every single section of the back office and about the company, so that we will strategically place these videos around the website, and it will greatly cut down on those support tickets. So if you're somebody who's upset that support was behind, I will tell you, we ran a blitz about 2-3 weeks ago now. It was over a long holiday weekend. We had a bunch of the customer service just, cancel their weekend plans and crack down on those tickets. And I think the only ones left right now are the ones that Huascar has to personally get involved with, just due to lack of time. He's traveling, he's working, and so you've got this little bucket of tickets, but everything else is literally like 2FA, email changes, basic questions, things like that. They're all being answered typically in less than 24 hours now. We were just talking about the congestion of tickets, and I know this isn't what this is all about here, but might as well touch on it for a second, because you guys may not, we're talking about infrastructure, okay? And I don't know if you realize this. Every one of you are a subset of that infrastructure. Every time someone comes in, and Justin and Katie and Luigi and all you leaders are pouring into these people, it's not just about recruiting. It's not about a pump and dump. This is a longevity program, okay? This is a legacy company. So if you are excited about it being a legacy company, build it like one, all right? Take the time, spend the time, develop leaders. The whole comp plan is about working with other people and developing leaders. Part of that leadership is developing your own infrastructure within your team. If you help from day one, it makes the job of the customer service easier, which then takes pressure off myself and Huascar and all the others. Now, Andy's been with us beginning, and he is now the customer service manager. He was able to be promoted into that. So that took a lot of pressure off of Huascar now. So you see, we continually build this infrastructure. But when it comes to tickets, I do want to touch on this. It sounds like Justin may have last week. But if you're somebody who has a ticket in right now, when you go to your support tab in your back office, look at the ticket and respond to that ticket, okay? A lot of times what's happening with the support tickets that are sitting on Huascar, those types are like financial ones, okay? So he's got to go into LifePay and he's got to track down, transactions. You need hash ID, all right? So if you have a transaction that hasn't cleared yet, first thing, provide a hash ID, okay? But then when your ticket is responded to from customer service, don't open a new one to respond back to it. Open the same one. Because see, part of this infrastructure is we have continually developed the customer service software, and we continue to do so. It's Huascar, actually, I got to say, has a really good understanding and vision of what he wants in software. So he's been able to help us take the customer service software that we've been using for our own company even, and develop that into something that scales much better. So it's been a really good relationship between the two companies. But anyways, every time you open a new ticket, what happens is that goes back to customer support, not responds back to Huascar. So then the members get upset and go, well, hey, I'm still not, my thing is still sitting here asking for, $23 in Bitcoin or whatever it is. It's called a partial payment. Okay. The system has to have that exact amount. Well, if you're opening new tickets all the time, your flow of communication is it should be. It's not because now the sport's got to get to it, forward it back, connect the dots. So respond to the same ticket. Okay. That's part of the infrastructure. Now, the rest of the infrastructure, we're constantly working on ways to make things easier for you guys to understand, such as like the leadership page. All right. We've got another round of revisions coming out on the leadership page. Why would we do that? Well, because if you don't know what's going on in your business, you don't know where to build. Okay. So we want to make sure that you have a clear picture all the way through. Once that leadership page is perfected, then we're going to jump back over and work on the matrix viewer. We're going to either matrix tree, okay, unilevel viewer, things like that. We're going to work on those to make them even better and easier for you guys to understand. These are things that are going on. Security behind the scenes. This is an ongoing. In security, Kraken, I don't know if you guys use Kraken or not. This morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, Kraken had their security officer doing a webinar talking about, excuse me, talking about all the different types of cyber attacks going on right now. Because in our industry, you've got different communities that a programmer can go to and look and see, hey, is this a type of attack that anybody else has had yet? Okay. I think that what's happened is COVID-19 has created way too much time for these hackers to sit home and just work on their skills or something. I don't know, because there's a lot of new types of attacks that are coming out. And when you go and you look to see if anybody else has had it, a lot of them are new. There's no real documentation yet. Okay. So that was a big part of what Kraken was talking about this morning was here's a lot of new types of cyber attacks. Now, obviously, security is a major thing. We want to make sure that your guys' accounts are protected, your information is so on and so forth. So this is a daily ongoing thing. We're always working on more security. Some of them frustrate you guys and some of them don't, but every one of them, such as, you got your confirmation code, your 2FA, things like that. You move to another, got to reconfirm, all that type of stuff. It's to help you guys, protect you guys. Okay. And so if you're new to 2FA and all that type of stuff, I know it can get a little frustrating, but it's a necessary. Okay. So hundreds of thousands of dollars is being dumped into, we might be approaching the 7-figure mark or beyond point just in the custom of the software CashFX. And so when I come into work with a client, we bring a lot of underlying platform with us. 15 million lines of code that we've written at my company. And so we bring a lot of that over, but then Huascar is all about custom. He loved, being very specific and it has driven this company to the point where it's at. And it is quite advanced. You guys are going to see more and more advancement with a new system, things like that. And we had to do a temporary payout system, which kind of took us off the mark a little bit. So we lost a few weeks, but we're to the on our payout system that we're going to be putting into place. We've already tested it and ran millions of dollars through it. It's working great. And so this is all part of, CashFX being able to better control its environment, its workflow. So anyways, yeah, infrastructure, every possible section of it, from manpower is being put in place to, the infrastructure, to the software infrastructure, every part of it gets almost daily. It's like there's so many hands working behind the scenes today and doing such a great job. I guess talk about CFX, and one impressed me is the way that Huascar vision has been passed on to the rest of CashFX Corporate and the support team for CashFX. It really has created a situation or an environment where everybody shares the same goals and dreams, and they all want to push the company as far as it can go. So great team behind the company right now.
So we talk about infrastructure constantly growing. We talk about the investing. I mean, when you look at companies that have a mindset of here today, gone tomorrow, they know they're going to get a 6-month or a 9-month expiration. And listen, let's be honest, the majority of the shiny objects that are popping up in the space the last 2 or 3 years, that's really their expiration, 6 to 9 months. Some might go a little over a year. They come out of the gate, they develop a website, they build something, and then they just let it ride as long as it can ride. And that's one of the things that's different here, is that Huascar and the team at CFX continually to invest in the security and the infrastructure, the development of the site. And then we talk about phase 2. And we've kind of started just to give people the mindset, Ron, that phase 2 is not just copy trading. Phase 2 is the next growth of the company. We have the payment solution. Yes, we have this copy trading type of a platform. We have there's so many other pieces and products that are coming. You know, we've had John Kinnear on, and he's talked about some of it. Obviously, Huascar has, dropped some information here and there in different webinars. But if you can kind of share with us kind of your thought process around this next phase of the company, that would be great.
Well, absolutely. And guys, when we talk about the forward commitment, and Justin just said, the shelf life of a lot of these companies in network marketing, being 6 to 12 months, it really is. I mean, I've gone into so many companies that I look at and I'm like, wow, I'm not taking this project because I'll put all this time in and you're going to be gone in a year because the intentions are wrong. And they're looking very short term. That is not Huascar. When Huascar and I have been friends for, I don't know, 9 or 10 years now. And he's always been a forward thinker. And when I first looked at this project with him and I started asking him about his 5-year plan, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of where Huascar wants to go. And so what that tells me is that Justin, 15 months into this, yeah, about 15. Myself and my team are a little bit longer than that, being involved from the software side and stuff, but it's just barely like a month longer. Anyways, boy, I guess it's going to be huge, guys. I mean, like it's still 6 to 7 days a week, 15 hours a day. And Huascar continues to make these type of sacrifices. So he's not a president, CEO. It's sitting at the top of the company going, you guys take care of this. I'm going to the beach. He's right on the beach. If you've ever seen his place, I mean, right out of his back doors is, the beautiful, Caribbean Ocean. Like literally he's on the beach. And, but he doesn't do that. Instead, he sacrifices 7 days a week. And it's because his dream is big enough. Okay. And it's because of you guys. It's because you guys have understood the dream and you've ran with that dream. And that drives every one of us. Okay. If we didn't have near the excitement in the field and things, would we be sitting there 7 days a week, working, 15 hours a day, while our families go and do stuff without us? No, we wouldn't. We would not be doing that. We'd probably be, doing stuff with them. But here's what we know is that we push this hard for the next 5 years. And this company isn't just going to change individual lives. It's going to change the world. It's going to change banking. It's going to change, so many different aspects of so many different industries. It's going to touch in so many different locations. And so when it comes to phase 2, this is something that, phase 2, we thought phase 2 was going to be rolled out a little bit before now. Okay. But here's the thing. The vision from Huascar has continued to grow as we get deeper and deeper into phase 2. Okay. So the development team, the developers and the traders, being headed up by Edwin, they are working nonstop on the copy trading side of things. But at the same time, Huascar is off working on a lot of other pieces to phase 2 that weren't even originally for phase 2, that I believe that once phase 2 comes out, what is phase 2 going to do? Well, from a legal standpoint, it's going to tick a lot of boxes. Okay. So from a legal standpoint, you will have control over your account. You will have the trading on your device. You will not have to answer questions anymore about transparency. Is it really trading? Okay. All of that type of questions that, yes, it's trading. Yes, all those things are happening. But unfortunately, there's a lot of other companies out there that aren't doing what they say. So what happens is CashFX ends up paying for the sins of other companies. Okay. I've seen the trading. I've seen the trade reports because I work with the legal team and they pass through me, as I talked the last time I was on here. So I have seen those reports. I have seen the trades. You guys get to see those in your back office. If you ever wonder if they're real, take one of those entries as quick as you can and enter it yourself. Okay. And then get out when they get out and see what happens. You're going to win the trade. They're real trades being indicated by the EA. Okay. And so as we head into phase two, here's what I believe is going to happen. I believe that within 90 days of phase two launching and all those blocks being ticked, we're going to double this. We're going to double the company again.
100%.
Yeah, I believe that if phase two was phase one, we'd be twice the size we are right now.
100%.
So it's absolutely, if you think this has been life-changing, if you think that what you've been through so far has been, I mean, just an absolute blessing, one, you're right. But two, you are simply building your infrastructure. You're building your base camp. All right. This is the beginning. You're getting ready. You should be building your generals right now. All right. You should be building your army, because think about this. If you have 5,000 or 10,000 people on your team right now, how big is your team going to be after phase two launches? But if you're sitting back going, I'm going to wait for phase two and I'm just going to keep doing, you know, a little bit here and there. When phase two launches, guys, what if you only have 100 people on your team? Now is the time that you should be cranking and pushing, because when phase two comes out with all the transparency and legality, it's game over. I mean, then it's just a full on run as fast as you can, you know, for as long as you want to.
Yeah.
Hello. You look at the chat, Ron.
I have not been watching the chat. No.
It's blowing up after you spoke about 5-year plan, and this is real, and this is, I mean, it's blowing up, buddy. Can you imagine 5 years where everybody's going to be here right now? I mean, we've seen nothing yet. We have seen nothing yet.
This company is going to set records for individual income. Okay. I know that there are individuals out there. I believe one of the top earners was, I'm not going to name names, but was, you know, with a coffee company, and, you know, has made incredible income on a monthly basis for quite some time. But I think that in the not too distant future is going to become second place, third place, fourth place. May not even make the top 10 income earners in this industry, because this right here is going to set the new records. And it's, I mean,
that's one of the things people need to understand is, again, when you look at the vision and you look at, you know, 5-year, 10-year, and then you look at what we're actually doing, how big that vision is, that stuff takes time to go from vision to actual development to testing to the market. And that's what I think we lose sight of as network marketers that want everything now. You know, from the beginning, the company's motto was something different, something new. And I can tell you, and I know the community will be in line, that what we've seen the last 15 months is completely different than anything else in the space. And so one of the things Huascar said on our call last week was, it's not how fast you get there, it's that you get there. And so Huascar and the team, their goal is to not pump out brand new stuff that's untested and unstable to appeal to a very small percentage of the community that's complaining, but to protect the longevity of the company. Because again, like Ron said, we're sitting at around 70,000 members right now. That could be 10x in the next 12 months. I'll let you times 70,000 times 10 and figure out what that number is. But I just want to,
I checked last night, not to interrupt there, bro, but I checked last night. I think we're actually bringing 80,000 today.
Yeah. We're probably 80,000 right now. I know we're about 76,500 on the power team. So congratulations, power team. Like Ron said, he says, what happened to infrastructure was the power team.
Yeah.
We're not quite ready.
The power team is the cart that got in front of the horse. Okay. So it's been huge. Yes, and I want to touch on what you said there though about the how Huascar said it's not about how quick you get there, it's just about getting there. And it really does go hand in hand with something that, back in my early days when I was first starting building companies, I would come in and I'd map it all out. I had it all mapped out. I'm like, okay, that's the end result that we're going to get. And not once did I ever get it. Okay. Yeah. What I got was something better.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that what you want to do with a company, and that's exactly what's happening right here, is you put this roadmap together. All right. Have you guys ever, whatever country you're in, have you ever just done a road trip? For days, you just get in your car and you have a destination. You could have flown there, but hey, I'm going to drive this. I could have got there if I flew. Could have got there a lot faster. But what are you going to look at? Look at the walls of an airplane, look at the back of somebody's head, right? Or one of the best trips I ever did, I rented an RV and we took a month with our kids and we just traveled and we stopped where we wanted to stop. And we enjoyed the things along the map, okay, along the road. It wasn't about getting to that destination. It was about the experience along the way.
Yeah.
So I knew where I wanted to go. All right. I was focused on my goal of making it to that destination, but I was flexible on the approach. And along the way, we could have made a straight line, but along the way, we'd stop and we'd enjoy ourselves. And while we're enjoying ourselves there, we'd hear something from somebody local going, oh, you got to go see this. All right. So we'll go up here for a little bit. And then, oh, you got to go down and see this. And you got to see that. But the whole time we're getting to our goal, but we enjoyed the journey.
Yeah.
And then we look back at that. And it was a very memorable part of our lives with our kids. All right. And that's what you guys have the opportunity to do. You have the opportunity right now. Yeah, run as fast as you can. We're not saying don't do that, but tomorrow's not your last day. All right. So run fast.
Enjoy the journey.
Live life. Okay.
Yeah.
And get to your destination and be flexible on that approach. And I think you're going to enjoy yourself a lot more.
And I just want to share one last thing. You and I were talking a couple of days ago, and I love this. This is just I will call this a Ron Pope quote. CFX is providing longevity, honesty, transparency, and dependability. I mean, think about that. How many companies, whether you're watching this with us today and you're one of the 1,000+ that's live, or you're seeing this on a recording, or somebody shared this with you on their social media site, think about how many companies you joined that were not able to provide you longevity, honesty, transparency, and dependability. That's what you're going to find here at CFX today, in 6 months, in 12 months, in 36 months. And we are literally, I mean, I remember how Luigi and I got pulled up on stage in Panama and we had 6,300 members. And I remember closing that little speech with, we are literally just getting started. We're still just getting started.
Oh yeah. I mean, we could still call this pre-launch if we really wanted to. There's so much prep work going on. I mean, nobody's stopped working on the preparation for what's coming. So,
Ron, are you excited about the future of CFX?
What's that, bud?
Are you excited about the future of CFX?
Yes, I am. yeah, I am. I think that, and as we sit here and we talk about, the infrastructure and the journey and things like that, guys, it doesn't mean, and I'm going to just give you a real quick reality check, okay? It doesn't mean along that journey that some government somewhere in the world isn't going to knock on the door and ask some questions. It's expected, all right? It's expected. And you know what? If they're not knocking on your door asking you questions, you haven't made it on the radar yet because you ain't big enough. So it's going to come. It's going to happen. But it's okay, because when it does, we've got good legal teams behind us, and we're ready to address these things. all part of the journey. We'll get through these things, and but yeah, I'm excited. Of course, I'm excited. I love seeing success. Okay, I enjoy success myself, but I love watching others succeed. I'll give you a quick story. When I was 30 years old, I had retired from a mortgage and investment company that I had. We had offices in 5 states, 3,500 sales reps, and things were going great. We opened our own secondary mortgage company. We were servicing just under $1 billion in notes, and it was great. But here's the thing: I retired by myself. I built that company, okay? And so when I retired, I didn't have a lot of other people my age, a lot of other people in my circle that were retiring with me. And so after a while of traveling by yourself, of boating by yourself, and doing things, I just said, you know what, I'm going back to work. So and I did, but I went back to work on my terms. I became an international business consultant, traveling the world, taking over companies, consulting with governments, things like that. And it was really a cool journey when I went back in, because when you do something because you want to, not because you have to, it's a totally different experience. And that's what I can't wait to see for you guys. I'm excited about the future of CashFX because of what it's going to do for each and every one of you guys.
That's right.
And the opportunities that it's going to bring, the time freedom that it's going to bring to you, the opportunity to diversify your portfolio and secure your financial future for the rest of your lives and the next generations after you. That's what I'm excited about.
Beautiful. Anything else any closing remarks you want to say, brother, before we get to what a lot of people hear, over 260, I think, first-time guests that are waiting for the free Bitcoin giveaway.
Oh, that's why they stuck around. I thought it was me. All right, I'll get out of the way.
Actually, you know what's awesome, okay, Ron, is that, listen, on all our calls, we're getting 500, 600, 700 people on every call. And we're doing these calls 6 days a week. But when last week we did Huascar, we maxed out the call. Today we maxed out the call. But even though we have 270 guests, we still have almost 700 members, my dear friend.
Yeah.
700 members on the call. I mean, honestly, you've been around a long time. Have you seen a lot of calls where, a team can actually get 500, 600, 700 members on a Zoom call? And when they do it every day, I have not seen many teams do that.
Not consistently, no. I mean, you might have your big promotion and all of a sudden, some people jump on, you might get 500 people, but you guys are constantly packing the house. And what I love the fact is, hey, welcome to the 263 guests that are here.
Yes.
But thank you to the 700 of you that came to learn more and pour into your business and to your future. That, guys, the 263 people that are joining today, okay?
Yeah.
We'll assume the close on that one. So when you guys get involved, make sure you come back to these webinars. These guys right here, this group that you see in front of you, these are the leaders. These are the ones that are going to teach you, that are going to mentor you to be that leader. If you're looking at Justin, Luigi, and you're going, man, I would love to be at that point, you can get there. Okay.
That's right.
But why try and figure it out on your own? Come to these calls, come to the team calls, learn what it is that they're doing, and then do what we call duplication. It's very simple. Don't recreate the wheel. Just do what's working.
That's it.
So it's a turnkey business model. Yeah, guys, I'm excited. I could sit here and talk all day. I don't want to hold anybody.
Get out.
Their Bitcoin gift, but thank you guys so much for having me out. I really appreciate it.
It was.
We love you, Ron.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Likewise,
everybody's sending you a lot of love, Ron.
Real quick before you go, Ron, open up your chat, guys. For all of the guests that are here today that have stuck around, just have one question for you. If what you see has excited you and you're a guest here and you're not a member, if you believe you're going to be joining this legacy company, do me a favor and drop the word "me" in the chat. For all of our guests who are going to be leaving this call and joining, please drop the word "me" in the chat so we can welcome you right now to the CFX family.
Look at
awesome.
All those
there you go.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us, Ron. Stick around. We're going to give away some Bitcoin.